Hey Aquarius, this is your general tarot reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of July. Aquarius, this is going to be a great month. We know everything is retrograding. Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, all retrograding. And dare I say it, even this month we have the dreaded Mercury retrograding. But while everybody is rewind, why don't we do something totally different? Why don't we begin at the end? Why don't we jump ahead a little bit and start with the big powerful thing that's happening this month? And that is the big lunar eclipse on, when is it? It's July 16th, full moon in Capricorn in the 12th house. Now this is where big karmic business is happening, Aquarius. You know the drill. We talk about it so many times now. The last year and a half or so, like that, you've been feeling that 12th house energy of feeling like everything I try to do, I just can't get started. I just can't begin doing a job I want. I can't begin finding the home I want. I can't begin getting fit, getting this. It's like I'm in a fog. And it's like the universe is sabotaging me every time I try to step ahead. I'm still moving, I'm still shaking, I'm still getting things done. There's no doubt about that. But for the longest time, I just have felt like I'm trying to shoot a target in the dark here. I don't know what I'm doing. And there have been many times where I felt way off course, way off direction, not knowing what's going to come around the corner, and not having a clue of what I'm supposed to be doing in the future. But here comes the lunar eclipse, which is saying, okay, enough of that shit. Let's begin the big cleanup of that. Let's come in and get rid of the heavier karma that you've probably found over the last year and a half. Maybe some things that you weren't aware of before, you've suddenly become aware of them. You've suddenly tuned into a whole new vibe with people. Maybe sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Over the last year and a half, you could have suddenly realized that you don't like the vibe of certain people. You could have gotten on with them before, but you've kind of begun to use your instincts and use your vibey energy and saying, I can't quite put my finger on it. There is no logical explanation, but I cannot tolerate that, those, them anymore. They give me the freaks, the heebie-jeebies. And then on the other side of it, you might suddenly find yourself very attracted to very unusual things, very unusual people. Now, it's not odd for you to be attracted to the unusual or to the fantastical and so on like that. But this time it's more like shifting an energetic gear and saying, I don't know why, but I just feel drawn to certain things and people, and a gentler vibe of people, a gentler way of living, a more compassionate side of myself has started to appear. Now, it came because it was kind of forced on you a little bit, but it's now this month where you begin to see the strength you got from that, because sometimes in the dark, I mean, when we go to bed at night, or even if we have to go to bed during light hours, we close curtains. We kind of try to make the room dark because we know that we can sleep properly when things are dark. We know we dream when we're in the dark. We even shut our eyes to sleep just to make it even darker. And this reminds me of a quote from a fellow Irish person, Oscar Wilde. I have to read it here, I can't remember it off heart. He says, a dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. And that is exactly what has been happening over the last year and a half. Being in that dark space, intuitive space, feeling out the vibey space, being shut out from certain things in your life because you had to go through that dark in order to dream. And now with the lunar eclipse coming, it's like, wake up, it's sunrise and you're the first to see it. Or at least you're the first to know how to take the first tentative steps with your intuition into it. Really. And what's supporting that is the other eclipse, the solar eclipse on July 2nd, new moon in Cancer, in the 6th house, which is where your north node of destiny is. I mean, I love how this shit works out. It's perfectly balanced. You're now leaving the past behind, leaving that self-doubt, self-sabotage in some cases behind, and moving towards something far healthier. It's your destiny now to be more organized, as the first card helps out there. To be more organized, to be more practical. Take what you've learned in the moonlight when you've been dreaming over the last year and a half because you've been forced to, and start putting practical work on that. It's the time of practical magic. You've got the magic. Now put the work in, put wheels on it, and drive it into your destiny. Because work is where it's happening, Because 6th house is also a place where we can distinguish what's good and bad for us. The element of discernment here, knowing with your new skill of heightened vibes, what's no use for you anymore. I have a new destiny, a healthier, purer version of myself that I want to see happen or blossom in the future. You want to take care of your health better. Start some daily exercises. Start really planning, 6th house planning, analysing, putting a plan together to make something happen for you. Because what you've learned over the last year and a half is that when you're here in a haphazard place with no direction, you don't tend to go anywhere. And that was the gift. The gift is, now do you see why you have to put a plan on your life? You want these big magical dreams that you've felt in the moonlight to come true. Now make a plan. Life shouldn't be an accident. You shouldn't just ramble through it and expect the best. This is details, this is strategy, this is schedules, this is tasks, this is every day fulfilling a plan that you've sat down, hopefully this month, to write. Sit down and write it. Say, dear Aquarius, dear me, here's where I see myself in the future, and here are the steps that I commit to taking to make that happen. It's really beautiful, Aquarius. It's the key. It's the way through. You've been handed the book of spells, the practical magic. Take a bit of this, take a bit of that, take a bit of the other, and put it all together and make it physically work for you. The work that you put in and the habit towards this kind of getting up every day and committing to some future dream, that's your magic. It is your magic, you know. It's like create a new revolution, a personal revolution, where you kind of rebel against some of the habits that have been holding you back, where you have been sabotaging yourself. Because here's what you've learned too. There's no way that you were born into this world to do nothing. There's no way. There is no way. Just to pay bills and die and add a bit of tax onto that, that's not your life. So now you're creating with your beautiful Aquarius mind, hands, heart and soul. You're creating your future. It's a script to be written, you know. I love that too, the words of Aristotle. He said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. So you are getting into the habit of excellence. So it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now in real practical terms, we've got the new moon in Cancer, which means some of you are going to take it very seriously this month to get into a new fitness routine, a new day-to-day routine, keeping a journal, working a totally different way, getting the right tools, the right skills, the right implements, the right software, whatever the hell you need. It's time to get everything practically that you need to make your work dream particularly come alive. So that's good. Commit to going to the gym, 3 nights a week or whatever, or even more. Commit to it. Commit to healing, maybe for some of you, any digestion problems that you've been having. Commit to eating in a way that gives you a healthy gut. You know, I'm not saying go on diets or anything like that. That's old bad habit shit. I'm talking about cleaning up your health, cleaning up your digestive system, and only eating food that gives you great pleasure inside and out. So that's the thing. Venus then, July 3rd, goes into Cancer also, all into the North Node of Destiny, where love could be found. as you start taking these practical steps to clean up your life in some way, in your health. Maybe somebody you meet at the gym or in a new job that you're thinking of taking on this month. A new service to other people, maybe doing some charity work. You could meet somebody there. You know, defending the underdog is also a place where you could meet somebody. And also, it could be that you find yourself very attracted to go-getters, people who get up at the crack of dawn and say, you know, out for the hike, and then I'm going to come back and then I'm going to do this and this. And for those of you who love pets, this could be a real time where you're saying, I think I really either need to bring a pet into my life, or me and my pet need to get active. The two of us need to go for hikes in the morning or do something. Both of us are on a new regime, you know, so it's really, really nice. Let me see. Mercury, I did mention, I even had to stutter there saying that Mercury on July 9th is retrograding. Brace yourself. Mercury retrograding doesn't affect some people, it affects a lot of other people. Your Wi-Fi might break down, computers, phones, anything like that, cars, anything like that might break down. You have a bicycle, you bring your puncture repair kit, please, because anything technological or to do with travel or to do with communication could all go ass up. Really, so do brace yourself and have backup plans. All the 6th house energy is about having a backup plan, you know. So don't freak out if you see stuff like that happening. And do, if you can, Aquarius, avoid purchasing anything electronic this month. Avoid, if you can, going on travels. If you can, or at least if you're doing it, make sure you have every document that you need as you arrive to that airport or whatever. Just save yourself a nightmare, please. Now, as that card came out there, Mercury does further journey on. I mean, he's not just stopping there on July 19th. He even goes further back in time. This is like a total let's all step back in time month. He's going into Cancer on July 19th, into the 6th house. So he's saying, look, we've got to go in and clean up this mess. We've got to go in and clean up any toxicity, self-sabotage, anywhere where I'm not organised in my life. Bills, my getting up in the morning, having weird sleeping hours, you know, not keeping a healthy schedule. I've got to change this. I've got to do it. And clean up some toxicity. Now, I will say this, for some of you, you might have to revisit an old friendship, relationship, business partnership, or something that might have gone really sour, maybe even a legal thing. That might get dug up again, where you're saying, oh my God, I thought I was finished with this shit. There it is again. What do you want? I thought the eclipse was going to get rid of you. But up it might surface again, just to get that last bit of disinfectant and clean down any toxicity between you and a situation or a person where there was a bit of heartache or a bit of trouble, you know. So Mars is also in Leo all month, and that's in your house of partnerships and relationships. So this could be great, singles and couples. There could be a lot of renewed passion and energy and drive and hotness. Going back into your relationships, going back into getting on with people, being more agreeable, kind of seeing other people's point of view, listening to other people, but at the same time, dare anybody challenge you. You might be very agreeable on the outside, saying, okay, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. But if I just sense a bit of negativity, pessimism, toxicity from you, I have Mars backing me up here, and Mars loves a fight. So don't get into a debate with me or argue with me or try to bring your toxic shit to me, because you're not going to win. So Mars is backing you up and he's defending you, it seems, against other people who might be coming in to challenge you and lord it over you with their opinion of things. You're saying, bye, not interested in your opinion. Unless it's something that's progressive and giving me some value, you're useless to me. Okay, so that's the total vibe there, you know. Sorry, Aquarius. I was just going to say, for those of you who live with your partner, you could have some really ambitious ideas of how to change up something in the home, change up your family dynamic in some way. And that might be met with some resistance, but I think before the month ends, maybe your partner might understand your big ideas, your big plan to change something up, to maybe enlarge your family or bring in lots and lots of pets or do something radically different. Yeah, there'll be a tough fight, but I think that you'll win through in the end. So that's the big vibe. Now, Aquarius, we've only 4 cards. I've been yabbering on here, so let me get a few more of them. So, yeah, it's a lot of energy, a lot going on. But look at this beautiful card that came out there, the Sun. The Sun does move into Leo on July 23rd, into the house of partnerships and relationships. Things could get really interesting between you and somebody else, your partner, or maybe a new somebody else. Might be very nice because on July 28th, Venus then goes in there. Could be a lot of good times, good vibes between you and people that you really care about towards the end of the month. So let's get a few of these cards. So it's really nice. I like it. Yeah. Come on. Let's get a few more. That one leapt out. Okay. Healing a money situation too. Oh, this leapt out here. The Hermit, very much 6th house style energy, which you're dealing with a lot this month. This came out too. 2 more, Aquarius. La da 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 da. Yeah, let's get 2 more. Okay, these 2 leapt out. The Empress, very nice card. Followed by this card, which was like that. We'll lay it down. So, Aquarius, let's do it. Let's go over to your big, ta-da, grand overview. So, right from the start of the month, here we go. You are feeling some achievement, some success where, I don't know, is it something you're doing in work, maybe on social media with friends? So, a project. But you are being celebrated. You're being applauded. People are throwing you bouquets, roses, laurel leaves. You're getting a round of applause for something that you've done. And it gives you a moment to stop. It's like suddenly people are acknowledging the work that you've put into something, the care, the effort, the compassion. People suddenly realize, wow, you've been going at it, Aquarius, but you've been doing it kind of secretively or all hidden in the background. We didn't know. And suddenly there's a bunch of people that arrive and say, where have you been all my life? I need you. I celebrate you. I never knew that there was somebody like you. Now this, I'm getting the strange feeling, Aquarius, if you're using a talent or a skill or a knowledge that you've accumulated over a while, and you suddenly decide to either stand up on a stage or give a speech or do something on social media, to kind of just throw your 2 cents in, your opinion, or do something, suddenly all heads will turn and say, oh my God, tell me more. Your idea or whatever it is you're doing is what we want. It's what we need. It's what we want to hear. And this gives you a moment where you stop and say, it was worth the hard effort. All the effort over the last year and a half, or maybe even longer, was totally worth it. I am now beginning to see the rewards come in for the hard work I've been doing. Now I recognize that this is just the beginning. I've done the hard work behind the scenes. I'm getting the first flush of applause, but I know there's a little bit of more hard work to do before I'm kind of finished understanding how to do this or where to go with this. It's like saying, wow, you noticed what I'm doing. Okay, that's all I needed to hear. Now give me a moment to think about what I should do next, or how I can build on this, make more of this. So you are getting noticed and you are getting applauded. And I also think for those of you in a relationship, that your partner might be the first one who starts acknowledging the journey you've been on and how much you mean to them. So that could be very, very nice. And maybe even some of you seeing a significant person enter your life early on in the month, kind of cheering you on, like being a big cheerleader, and you saying, I didn't realize I actually needed somebody in my life to give me a bit of a morale boost or to cheer me on. There's a certain magic being brought by somebody significant, possibly somebody from the fire signs, possibly somebody who has sun, moon or ascendant in Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. It's just this person, and it's a nice feeling, I have to say, Aquarius, as I'm tuning into your energy. It's a validation. It's like I thought nobody would ever notice what I do or who I am or the work I've been doing. I thought I would never get the payback. I thought I would never get the reward. Well, it seems you are. It seems you are. But it also seems that there's a real hesitancy or a reluctance to push forward once you get this initial burst of celebration, because it's like once bitten, twice shy. There's a kind of mistrust, a kind of, are you kind of saying I'm good because you're, I don't know, you want something from me? I've been down that road before. I don't know. It's almost, Aquarius, makes me a bit sad. It's like you've grown out of the habit of people telling you how great you are. And so when they come all at once at you and say, no, you really are good at this, you really are gifted at that, we really do think that everything you've been doing is worth it. There's a moment of, are you talking to me? I don't know, I don't believe it. It's like a cynical thing. And there's also an element here, which I do have to caution you about, of not allowing it to go to your head. There's a funny balance of lapping it up and then not doing anything more with it, just taking the applause and feeding off that. Because I think with this card here, it's saying you do need a lot of support. You do need people now coming back into your life, cheering you on, pushing you on, because it has been tough. And you believe that it's almost like you had an idea, a concept of how things were supposed to be, and you took it seriously and nobody else did. And you were that Lone Ranger out there doing that thing. And it hurt. You're happy that you've come as far as you've come, but there's no question that your journey has hurt you. And that's why it's almost like, I don't blame you, Aquarius. When somebody does applaud you, it's give me more, give me more, give me more. Instead of taking that applause and using it to motivate you further, it's like, oh no, feed me, just keep feeding me. So I want you to be cautious of that. You're actually not that, I'm going to say it, you're not that desperate. And you never have been, and it's a habit now that you can break this month with the big lunar eclipse, not being so needy or feeling so lonely or jumping when the first person tells you that you're wonderful and saying, you know, like Sally Field at the Oscars, you love me, you really love me. You don't have to do that. That's what I'm saying. It's, you can use the positive affirmations that are coming in the bucket load this month to you, Aquarius, and kind of harness that energy to make a plan to continue moving forward. Okay? And look at this mid-month, the sun. This is like a Venus card. It's the 7, and Venus is in your 7th house. And this is a Leo card. Leo, 7th house. Okay, we get the message. Thank you for spelling it out clearly. Leo, 7th house. Feeling that there's a great healing coming where you can start investing again in people that matter in your life. There's a better to and fro. This is other people coming to you to show you love, and you finally feeling that you can come out of the dark like the little seeds and start shooting and blossoming into something more powerful in your life. Yeah, healing, other people healing relationships. And for some of you, maybe having to dig back quite a bit to maybe neutralize a toxic relationship once and for all, but you are growing. The sun, the farmer, growing. I mean, every farmer wants the sun to shine on them. So there is a project, and the sun is shining on it. There is a new job opportunity and the sun is shining on it. And bigger, 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 there is a money opportunity and the sun is shining on it. For those of you who have done a little investment, maybe in cryptocurrencies, or in something else, just a small investment where you've put a few coins away or invested your money to buy the right tools and equipment for your future plan. Even though I hope you've done that before Mercury retrogrades on July 9th, if not, wait until maybe mid-August. If you've gotten all the right shit together to make something grow financially for you, then here comes the sun. Here comes the sun shining on that, shining on it. Now I will say this, at some point it's going to get tricky to start healing some of those very difficult feelings of being broken, feelings for some of you of not being able to get your health together, your energy together. Now, I can't promise that if you've an illness it will be healed, I can't say that, but there will definitely be a better attitude around all of it. But it's like, come on, heal. This is the month where you're coming out of feeling like you can't get out of some situation, like you're stuck in the dark. I know it has felt like that. Stuck in a place where your intuition might have been guiding you all wrong, or so it seemed, because you were regenerating a whole new way to use your instincts and your psychic abilities. Those of you, and many Aquarians are very psychic, very intuitive. You might have seen over the last year and a half that you might have had no access, limited access. It's like your Wi-Fi to the universe was either broken, bent, damaged. Can somebody come? Hello, can somebody come and fix my antenna? It was steering you wrong, but what it was actually doing was trying to steer you into a higher frequency of using your psychic skills, for those of you who do depend a lot on that. So the Queen saying, sit back and enjoy this. You're healing. Money is healing, your finances are healing, and you're feeling a whole lot better in yourself, psychologically too, for those of you who have felt it very tricky. Now, I mean, doing the practical work in a season where it's all about practicality, some of you might have to definitely make a plan to speak to somebody if you found that your emotional health wasn't going in a healthy direction. It could be time to speak to a counsellor, a therapist, a healer. Take that shit seriously, because this is all part of your journey into the North Node of Destiny, of being healed. So practical things, practical magic can be applied in very practical ways here with the help of a healer. But here we have the Virgo card. This is the energy of you coming out of the dark a little bit, using your intuition to guide you more now. You've learned a lot over the last year and a half. You've learned to see through your own darkness too. So I think a great many of you have come through some great psychological hurdles. Maybe even some of you may have even had great moments of enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment over the last year and a half. So now what do you do with that? You keep it going, you keep it practically moving, you keep meditating, you keep judging whether you're building upon this work, you know. But it's the same thing. This is analysis, showing caution, building, being practical. And at the same time, having balanced emotions, listening to other people and their ideas, sitting on the fence a little bit, because now your ears are all open. It's like I'm blinded to many, many things. I don't know the direction I'm going, but if I get a plan here and maybe get good people who believe in me, get their opinions, get their ideas, and feel it out. You see, she's blindfolded. She's not using her mind, her cognitive mind here. She's feeling it out instead of how to move forward. Now, for some of you towards the end of the month, I did say this, you might have to show a bit of caution here. You have to examine your relationship with somebody, and you have to sit back and maybe let them talk, you listen, and try to bring peace to a situation here, removing the toxicity, but still being very, You know, I might not like you, but maybe if we've unfinished business, I will sit and talk to you. I will meet you for a coffee. I will do this just to make everything work out okay. Maybe with a Libra Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or even a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. It's the energy of going back and saying, we might not get on very well, but I will listen, and we can tie up some loose ends perhaps, okay? But we do end with you as the Empress, the one who sits back and kind of enjoys the fruits of the land, the fruits of the labor, money, work. All the good things in life, the sweet things in life are coming back to you. And there's the feeling here with this card of, it's a great moment, Aquarius, when you realize you don't have to deal with certain things from the past anymore. I don't want to go back to the past. I don't want to go back to depending on other people or feeling that I'm always surrounded by the lame ducks of life. I don't want that anymore. I refuse to go back and give my emotions to people from the past also who have dragged me down a little bit, being a bit messy, being a bit manipulative, and maybe even very controlling in some cases. Instead, I am just going to start learning the difference between healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships, and only moving forward with healthier people, with a healthier frame of mind. But this is definitely you, by the end of the month, enjoying a new position of power. So that could be work, that could be relationships, because she is a Venus card, Venus in an earth sign. It's where she's practically showing her love to somebody. So that might come in. Maybe if you're in a relationship or starting a relationship with somebody, it's not enough to say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Maybe it's time to start practically showing it, because this is a month of practical magic, even practical love magic. It is in not what we say, but what we do. It is in, not what we imagine the other person perceives about us, but in how we behave and act in the whole big situation that actually brings the love magic here. So I like that. I like it. There's a lot going on, but it's all to do with bringing that practical magic in. Get yourself super organized. Know where your money's going in and out. Know what you're paying for. Know your bills. Go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, because Aquarius is not going to lose anymore. It's finished, and you will see it slowly progress over the next few months, that you are coming back into having a direction again in your life, and being glad that you started now to put that practical magic in, because maybe in another 6 months or so you'll be able to look back and say, oh my God, I am glad I started that work back in July. It pays off now. Aquarius, 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 I adore it. I adore it. And I'm going to leave it at that. You know that these are the general landscapes, the energetic landscapes. To go into the real details, you have to come to the VIMEO readings, the deep read. Aquarius, it's all linked down there below. Click the link and come on over. And you know what we do there. We open everything up. Relationships, the singles, to see if there's any love going on for you this month. Money and career seems to be something happening this month for you. Family, friends, and anything we haven't touched upon here. We will go a lot actually, deeper into those themes and topics, and see what we can get and what we can maybe use as a future plan to pay off sometime in the next 6 months or so. So Aquarius, as I said, Vimeo readings linked down there below. My beautiful, I'm going to leave it at that. And as always, I am going to leave you with all my love and a great, great, great big kiss from me to you. Mwah. Until next month, my darling. Bye.